Today, we're diving into the profound teachings of Pandit Shriram Sharma Acharya to tackle a really tough question. Why would a child ever feel the need to run away from their own home? And, more importantly, how can we start to heal our families and turn our homes back into the safe havens they're supposed to be?
So that's the big question, isn't it? A home should be the safest place in the world for a child, a place of warmth, of support. So what goes wrong? What happens that flips that script, turning a sanctuary into a place a child feels they have to escape from?
Well, according to Acharya Ji's philosophy, the first piece of the puzzle, and honestly the most important one, is the family's emotional foundation. Think of it like the bedrock of a house. If that bedrock starts to crack, the whole structure just becomes unstable. And let's be really clear about what we mean by sanctuary. It is so much more than just a roof over your head, right? It's that feeling of being completely safe. It's a space where you know you're supported, no matter what. And that feeling is built on two key things: emotional security and real, honest cooperation.
Just look at this. It lays out the two paths so clearly. On one side, you have a home built on cooperation, and that leads to strength, to support, to security. But then look at the other side. When that cooperation gets replaced with constant nitpicking, with criticism, with emotional neglect, the home just loses its entire purpose. It stops being a safe place and, as you can see, it becomes a dangerous path that can actually push a child away.
Now, you might think this is all about big, loud fights, but the problem isn't always open conflict. Sometimes it actually comes from a place of love, but it's a love that's been misapplied. This brings us to a really crucial point: the difference between true affection and just overindulgence.
This really captures a huge challenge for parents today, doesn't it? It's so easy to provide things, the latest toys, gadgets, all the material comforts. That's the easy part. The hard work, the truly essential work, is building a child's inner strength, their emotional resilience, so they can actually handle what the world throws at them.
And you can see the long-term results right here. Real affection? That builds resilience. It prepares a child for life's challenges. But overindulgence? It does the exact opposite. It creates dependence. And here's the kicker: pampering a child without teaching them any responsibility can be just as damaging as outright neglect. It leaves them totally unable to cope when things inevitably get tough.
Okay, so picture this. We've got a weakened foundation at home. Now, let's talk about the powerful forces pulling from the outside. Because when a child feels disconnected or unprepared at home, they become incredibly vulnerable to all the illusions that the modern world is constantly selling.
And that illusion is everywhere. Think about modern movies, social media, all these digital trends. They often paint this completely unrealistic picture of life, right? A world of easy money, instant fame, and just non-stop excitement. For a kid who's feeling a little lost, that fantasy can seem like the perfect escape.
And this is where it all connects. Without that strong moral and emotional compass from home, kids just don't have the tools to see this glamour for the illusion it really is. They fall into the trap chasing these impossible dreams, which, well, it doesn't lead to a glamorous life. It usually leads to a world of struggle and real disappointment.
All right, so we've looked at the problem from a few different angles. It might sound a bit bleak, I know, but here's the good news. Acharya's teachings don't just point out what's wrong. They give us a really clear path forward. So let's talk about the solution.
This quote, this is really the anchor for the whole thing. It just reframes the issue so beautifully. See, this isn't just about our own individual families. This is about building the future of the entire world. And the strength of that future, it starts right inside our own homes.
So how do we actually do this? Well, the path forward is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. First, we have to consciously work to build a foundation of harmony, less conflict, more peace. Second, we foster real cooperation where every single person in the family feels heard and valued. And third, we instill strong moral values that can act as a guide for our kids as they navigate that complicated world out there.
At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. Our children are without a doubt our most precious asset. The work we put into building a harmonious home is the single most important investment we can possibly make, not just for them, but for the health and the future of our entire society.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question to think about. This isn't about being perfect overnight. It's about taking that first small step. Based on everything we've talked about, what is one little thing you can do, maybe even starting today, to build just a little more harmony in your own home?
If these ideas resonated with you, if you feel like this is important work,
then please join us in the Thought Revolution philosophy movement. Subscribe for more insights that can help us all create a more thoughtful and harmonious world. Thanks for being here.